Bangkok. Good morning.
Hi everyone.
Hi. Yeah, we're just waiting for the live stream to start. I think it should have
Good morning.
started.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, it is 8 a.m. in Bangkok. 8 plus. Sorry we're a bit late. And yes, we are in Bangkok. We've been here a few days already. For just to share, we are actually here to celebrate our wedding anniversary.
That's
and
right.
We had a fantastic time, and there's a few more days to go as well, still in Bangkok. So come and join us. Come and join us on this YouTube live. We aim to do at least 20-25 minutes of it. So come on and join us.
Yes,
come and
right.
join us.
Come.
We're currently in. Yeah, in my ear.
Oh.
So we are currently in our hotel. Swimming pool. This hotel is an indoor swimming pool, quite nice. And yeah, so let's start this YouTube live here in Bangkok. And actually today we want to talk about why Bangkok is actually our favorite and it's a much better playground compared to Singapore and Penang. So for you guys who don't know, we are currently based in Penang. John's from Singapore. I lived in Singapore for 12 years, and yeah, and we love to travel all over. And it's been about 9 months since we were last back in Bangkok. So we are currently back in Bangkok, and I must say, over the last 9 months, Bangkok has really developed a lot, right? Like the development in Bangkok is so much faster than what we remember back in 9 months ago, right, John?
Yeah, and actually we love coming back to Bangkok because Bangkok is so vibrant, right? And there's a lot of new things to see, as one friend just mentioned, new developments. And this particular trip, which of course there's an upcoming video that will show you some of the latest developments. And I think since the pandemic, the last time when we were here, it was in 2023, right? So about 1 year ago.
End of 2023,
Yeah,
9
end of
months ago. 9 months
2023.
ago.
So now 9 months later, we can already see a lot of various developments. And well, the tourists are definitely back for sure. The city is really crowded and it's increasingly vibrant. We love it.
Yeah, so it's last year we stayed for almost a month. I think it was 3 weeks and then 1 week in Hua Hin, and it was okay, right? Like I mean, I think we realized why, because when we were here last year, Bangkok was slowly reopening to the tourists, and the crowds were not back full force, right? The expats as well, the expats, other the digital nomads or the foreign tourists, they haven't been back full force. So development was still there, but it was not as robust. But this round, when we came back, the moment we landed, right, in the airport, we're like, hey, right, Bangkok feels more vibrant, there's more energy, and we are like, oh wow. And then when we started exploring Bangkok, all the different places, right, not just the malls, but in the little sois, in the little streets, right, we are like, oh, the energy here is a lot different, and we love it. In fact, we are in the midst of planning, okay, when do you think we can actually stay in Bangkok for at least a year? That was what we are actually planning to do in the future.
Yeah. So with today's video, we actually want to talk to you and share with you really our perspective, our experiences, having been somebody who's very familiar with Bangkok, and of course we both stayed in Penang and Singapore as well. We want to give you our insights and the comparisons as well, especially in terms of cost in the various categories. Well, like for one, today we are actually staying in Park Royal Suites in Bangkok. It's at the Nana area. For those of you who are familiar, along the BTS line, just one stop away is Asok, and then the other direction, about 2 stops away, is Central World, Siam Paragon. Basically is the shopping belt district. So just a little comparison, we will just give you a bit of perspective about the different Park Royals in Bangkok.
And why did we choose Park Royal is because I personally love Park Royal. And I used to play in Park Royal Penang a lot, right? We will go for staycations, we'll play at the beach, company events were held there, and I love Park Royal Penang because it has a very Balinese style. In fact, we'll drive all the way to Park Royal Penang just to hear the live band at night, and it's a super chill resort. It's right next at the beach, so hotel, the moment you walk into lobby, it opens up to the beach, right? So I was totally in love with Park Royal. It's one of my most favorite hotels in Penang, right? And and of course, you know, in Singapore, there's quite a number of Park Royals, right? There's Park Royal Pickering, there's Park Royal Beach Road, and there's also Park Royal Marina Bay, right? And I think I'm not sure whether I stayed in Park Royal in Singapore because it's super expensive. But let me give you the prices, right, on Park Royal in Bangkok. So when we saw that there's a Park Royal Suites in Bangkok, so basically all the rooms are suites. Just a matter of is it a big room or a small room, right? So the price, so everything's in US dollars, okay? So the price in Bangkok for our Park Royal Suites is
It's 71 US
yes,
dollars.
it's 71 US dollars per night, right? However, the Park Royal Resort in Penang is 135 US dollars per night, and the one in Singapore. Okay, so to be fair, let's choose the beach road one.
Instead of the Upper Pickering.
Yeah, it's 320 Sing dollars per night, right?
No, sorry, it's 320 US
Oh, sorry,
dollars.
my bad. 320 US dollars per night, right? So there you go, which means that for one night in Singapore, the beach road one, right, which to me is the most Chan one, okay, you can stay 4.5 nights in Bangkok itself already. Hello, CK. Hi, Tony. And yeah, so we were like, wow, okay, so that's why we chose Park Royal Suites.
So you're actually comparing, right? 71 US dollars in Bangkok. In Penang is almost double at 135 US dollars. But of course, the Park Royal in Penang is next to the beach. And the Park Royal in Singapore, the beach road one, okay, not the Upper Pickering one, is at 320 US dollars per night. That is 413 Sing dollars. Wow, you know, if you really compare accommodation prices, right, in these three cities, it's pretty amazing the disparity, you know, of all the various costs. And of course, you know, people who are either budget conscious or you want a, you know, value for your buck, right? Of course, you know, Bangkok it has so many options, and Park Royal is just one of the many options that you can get in Bangkok, especially in the shopping district. This entire BTS line, this entire area, there's so many hotels for you to choose, and of course Airbnb as well. 9 months ago when we were here, we took Airbnb for about 3 weeks, right? We did a 3 weeks Bangkok, 1 week Hua Hin, right? That was 9 months ago. Time flies, right? And well, Airbnb options as well, you have so many, right? And the Airbnb options are typically around I would say at least 20 to 30% cheaper, right? Of course, you don't discount the luxury hotel prices, but if you compare a decent 5-star or a 4.5-star hotel with a nice Airbnb, let's say a 2-bedroom apartment or 1-bedroom apartment with facilities, Airbnb, you will be looking at around 20 to 30% cheaper in Bangkok, right? So these are the options that are available to you.
Yep. And our Airbnb in Bangkok last year was very nice. In fact, the pool was very good. It was an infinity pool. There was a nice gym. Yeah, and the aircon was very, very cold as well. I still remember. So we like to talk about aircon. We compare aircons, right, everywhere we go, because you can actually see the quality in a place, right, just by judging the aircon. And of course, unfortunately, you know, we stayed a lot of Airbnbs in Penang, or rather in Malaysia. And unfortunately, Airbnbs, one of the cons of Airbnb is that you have to take a gamble on the aircon, right? Because of course, it is basically homeowners or people who use Airbnb and run it as a business. Unfortunately, they don't give you the best aircon, right? But if you're in a hotel, even a 3-star, even a 4-star hotel, you're almost guaranteed that the aircon will be really powerful. So that's one thing why we love hotels compared to Airbnb. And of course, we used to do a lot of Airbnb in Malaysia was because of our dog Snuffy, right? Because Airbnbs are then pet friendly, right? So okay, let's talk about
let's talk about food, right? Tony mentioned food, right?
Yeah.
Shopping, food. So food, let's compare some food prices, all right? So in Bangkok, right, let's say what can 10 US dollar get you? And let's start with the lowest tier, okay, which is your street food. So for 2 US dollars, you can get a bowl of delicious noodles, whether it's boat noodles, a full bowl, okay, not the half size kind, of full bowl, or let's say a pot noodles together with a drink. That will be around 2 US dollars, right? And in Penang, you can get about the same price as well. So for 10 US dollars in Penang and in Bangkok, you can get 5 square meals, a breakfast or a lunch. And in Singapore, you can, well, if you really know Singapore prices, it costs around 5 to 6 Sing dollars for a bowl of noodles, let's say a wanton mee together with a drink. And you can only get 2 meals for 10 US dollars. Again, notice the disparity, right? 2 meals in Singapore for a hawker dish, entry level one, compared to Penang and Bangkok, right? Versus 5. So if you're talking about really, you know, staying in Bangkok, you know that your dollar can really stretch. And for all the meals that you can get, you know that you are getting quality meals as well. It's very, you know, we love the street food here in Bangkok. The food is awesome, and you know they have such a huge variety as well. So if you really talk about food, you know, and we are just comparing the entry level. Okay, later we'll compare
and it's
the
not
next level.
really. We don't really eat at the streets. Yeah, we don't really eat at the streets. We actually eat in a shop, but it's next to a street. So when you talk about street food in Bangkok, we don't really go and buy the, you know, those little stalls with on the motorbike, right? Next on the alleyways or the pathways. We don't really eat those kind of food. We actually eat in the shop next to the street. So for example, I give you an example, one of our favorite breakfasts in Bangkok is the rong ren, right? It's a Michelin starred, and we will have, right, we'll sit in the shop, we'll have a drink each, we'll have a bowl of noodles, and it's super delicious. So go there. By the way, Rong Ren has got a, okay, this is something I want to call out, right? Rong Ren has got, it's very popular, obviously. It's been featured heavily, and then, you know, they've got Michelin star from 2018 all the way to 2024. So this is the so an imposter called Rong Ren 26 is right next door. So if you guys go to Rong Ren, right, do not go to Rong Ren 26. So open your eyes before you sit down. Make sure you see all the Michelin accolades on the wall before you sit down, because well, last year we actually went to the wrong one, right? Because of the direction that we were heading, we went into the imposter one, right, called Rong Ren 26, and we sat there and go, oh, this Rong Ren, fantastic. So we ordered, we ate, and then after that, when we paid our money, we decided to continue the stretch of the road, and we walked past the original one. But unfortunately, we couldn't eat anymore because we just ate, right? And we were like, oh man, we actually went to the imposter. We didn't go to the actual one. So we went back the next day. I can tell you the taste is about 30% difference, right? The original one with the Michelin is a lot nicer. Yeah, so go to the correct one, okay? Don't be fooled. And honestly, the imposter one was even more crowded than the original, because a lot of people like us were mistaken and they went to the wrong one.
Gary, hello. Yeah, that's right. In Singapore, right, noodle and drink kopitiam prices is already 7. Of course, in some of the other, you know, hawker centers, you might still be able to get 6 Sing dollars, you know, which is around 4 to 5 US dollars for a bowl of noodles with drinks. Of course, we're talking about comparing entry level, right? So even the Rong Ren Michelin star pork noodles that friend is saying is about 70 baht, right? 70 baht is around, I would say, about 250 to 3 US dollars, slightly more expensive than the price we quoted you earlier, but you're getting a Michelin quality.
It is like the top-notch one,
right? So again, that shows off how diverse and how many variety of options and the quality that you can actually get in Bangkok. And this is right in the heart of town, okay? So if you really go, you know, to outskirts, right? For example, Singapore, the outskirts. Okay, I'm not trying to say Jurong,
I used to live in Yishun, so yeah, let's use Yishun.
So Yishun or Jurong or Pasir Ris, right? Okay, not entirely outskirts because Singapore is so small, right? Then of course the price might be slightly cheaper than if you know, let's say eat in Tiong Bahru or more of the more central areas.
I mean, Yishun you can still get chicken rice for 354, and then plus a drink 180, so it's about $6, right?
Yeah, also depends on whether, let's say in Singapore, some of the hawker stalls are newer, right? Some of the hawker centers are newer, then of course they charge more. So let's talk about cafe food now. Well, cafe food is something that is, we love to eat cafe food in Bangkok, because cafe food have so many kinds of types of concepts, different types of offerings, you know, and they also have a mix of local and international within the cafe. And the coffee quality is really good as well. They always import beans from, you know, different parts of the world. So we love doing cafe hopping, especially in Bangkok. You see different concepts, right? Compared
even in the same mall. The same one mall itself, right, can have at least 15 different types of cafe concepts, right? Ranging from their own homegrown the beans. It can be imported beans, and then of course the pastries and the baked goods are all very different and all very good as well. Even in just one shopping mall, right? And one of the malls we were in, I can't remember which one. I think it was in H&M, right?
Yeah.
Was it H&M?
H&M, yeah.
There's a coffee bar in H&M. Imagine that. And there was also, it was in one of the supermarkets as well, right? The departmental store. There's actually a coffee place smack right inside, right? Which is quite a unique concept because you don't actually find that in Malaysia. Singapore, I remember there was one, right? Just one, many years ago. I'm not sure whether it's still there or not. But that's the beauty about Bangkok, you see, because rental and manpower is a lot lower and a lot cheaper as well. They can actually afford to start all these kind of concepts much faster, better, and they can last longer as well.
Yeah, and we love it because every time we have Singapore, of course, the standard of cafe in Singapore is very high. Unfortunately, sometimes you see repeats. Let's say I'm in the east, I'm in the west, right? Or even let's say I go to Punggol Waterway Point. You tend to see the same type of concept or cafe, or rather the same brand there, right? Of course, I mean, I'm not trying to be too critical here. The standard is high, and I love cafe hopping in Singapore as well. But in Bangkok, you really get to see and experience all the different kind of concepts. And of course, let's talk about pricing, all right? Prices, comparison. Let's start with Penang. We also like to go to cafes in Penang, but of course Penang is a smaller, it's an island, there's lesser options. You're looking at around 50 ringgit per person, which is $12 for you to get, let's say, a plate of pasta or all breakfast dish together with a coffee. $12. In Bangkok, it's slightly more expensive because it's a bigger city, right? It's around 500 baht, which is $16. $16 versus Penang, $12. And in Singapore, right? Singapore, you are looking at around an entry level price of 35 Sing dollars, which is $27. Imagine that. So in Bangkok, it's $16. In Singapore, it's $27. In our opinion, it's at least about the same standard. In fact, sometimes Bangkok cafe standard is even higher than Singapore,
Yep.
I dare to say.
Yep. I mean, I have a cousin who actually lived in Bangkok for I think more than 10 years. She absolutely loved the dining and the F&B scene in Bangkok, right? First of all, there's a lot more Michelin stars places in Bangkok. The unique cafe concept has been around for many years already, even before Malaysia and Singapore sprouted up like mushrooms, right? And the diversity, the uniqueness, and a lot of pop-ups, right? A lot of pop-ups are actually in Bangkok first compared to the other places, right? And yesterday we went to the Cheesecake Factory. Those of you in America, y'all would know Cheesecake Factory is a restaurant, right, that serves very delicious cheesecakes as well as American food. And we don't have one in KL or in Singapore, but there's one in Bangkok, and it was good.
Yeah, so we love Bangkok because every time we turn one corner, we see something new, and as what Fran mentioned earlier, I just want to expound more on that. Because of rental manpower, right, there's a lot considerably cheaper compared to, let's say, Singapore. The runway is a lot longer, and the concept testing, right, a lot of small-time entrepreneurs, they can test out the concept, right? And they love to put all these pop-up store or all these little booths, right, in the middle of the malls as well. Like we were at Central World. If you go to Central World, you realize that there's a lot of pop-up stores and like smaller, so-called outdoor shops along the main corridor because there's so much space in the malls, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in Singapore, right, you don't have that space, so the number of pop-up stores and also usually they use the center of the mall for exhibitions, which you kind of
Because
don't get to
space is
see.
very expensive, right?
Yeah, rental expensive,
Yeah.
manpower is expensive. So in consideration of all that, right, and the demand as well, in Bangkok, because it is one of the most visited city in the world, and so many international tourists knows about it, and of course the cost is a lot more affordable than Singapore, so it tends to attract a lot of tourists and also local demand, right? Not forgetting local demand as well. The Thais really love to support the businesses. So if you're looking at a growing culture of cafe, drinkers, all these hipster cafes and even restaurants, right? There is a domestic and also foreign tourist demand that's driving, all these, of course there's demand, supply, there's demand, then definitely there's more supply as well, right? So I think it's a very good balance right, for all these cafes, these restaurant owners to last longer than Singapore, right? Where you try 1 year, 2 years, if you're not recouping back your cost that you invested in the capital, then it's very hard for you to survive unless you are big time, big chain, big player in the Singapore F&B market.
To answer Kelly, I'm not sure whether they have casinos in Bangkok because we're not really gambling people. If they do, maybe, right? I'm not gonna say a hard yes or a hard no, but definitely in Malaysia, Singapore, yes, because the Genting group is very, very big there. I'm not so sure about Bangkok. Perhaps maybe a quick Google check would be able to give you your answer. I also want to talk about buffets, right? So we mentioned earlier in the live that we are actually here in Bangkok to celebrate our 8th wedding anniversary. So we went to this very popular buffet that has been making its rounds, going viral on TikTok and Instagram. It's called Copper Buffet. It's located at there's two outlets. There's one in Gason Amarin, which is a very atas mall, and then there's one somewhere else, right, which is a bit further, I think near Lumpini Park or something. Anyway, we paid about 100 Sing dollars, right, per pax, because ours came with a lobster dish as well. And I tell you, the food blew us away, right? Because it was unlimited beef, basically unlimited food offerings. And the good part is that you book it, right? You go to Hungry Hub, you go to the app, you book it, you pay, and then on the day off, you just go slightly early, you do a pre-check-in. They will already give you a table number, so you don't have to worry that, there's so many people, am I gonna have a table, will there be space for me? Nope, everything's pre-planned. So you go in, there's a table number, you sit at a table, and then you can go and you can actually walk around the entire buffet area, which is huge. And the food there, they serve it to you like fine dining style, in small portions, very intricately plated. Very nice. You just go there and order the food, right? And they'll serve it to your table. So it is unlike any other buffet, and the quality of the food is excellent, top notch. We had Wagyu, we had strip loin, we had what else did we have? Oh, oysters. John ate. He already ate back our money's worth in oysters, okay? And we had river prawns. We have a khao soi, which is a local southern Thai delicacy, right? Is this southern?
Sashimi. We have various styles of sashimi.
We had a lobster. So we had two lobster dishes. One lobster dish each, because that was part of our package. So it was a bit pricier. It was 100 Sing dollars per pax. You can get yours a little bit cheaper, maybe at 80 Sing dollars, but that comes without the lobster, right? Then you can even pay even more, right, to go for other dishes as well. And they were very sweet. They gave us a very nice cheesecake. It was a Michelin star cheesecake, a Michelin quality cheesecake, actually, apparently, something like that. Michelin rated, right, as our anniversary celebration. So it was a fantastic thing, and I brought it up because I love to go for high teas and buffets in Singapore, right? And the one that I always, well, not always, that I've been there quite frequently back in the past, was the Ritz-Carlton Champagne Brunch in Singapore, okay? It comes at a hefty price tag of, well, when I went there, it was 180 plus. Now it's 210 or 220 plus. It's a champagne brunch. All you can drink, cocktails, champagne and whatnot. The quality is top notch, but it comes at a very eye-watering 220 plus, which means after you add in the plus, it's 250, 260, right? For a 2.5 hour brunch.
Yeah, that's
so it's very expensive.
Dollars,
yeah, so it's very expensive, and I don't really go for buffets in Penang or KL much, because why? The quality is not as good. Okay, I'm gonna be very upfront and open. It's not just as good. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with me. It's just not as good. The quality. So, for example, if you eat a steak, the steak quality is not as great. If you eat a salmon, the salmon has got more bones. The meat is not as succulent, right? So you get the point. So we stopped going for buffet in Malaysia for that reason.
Yeah, and I would just like to highlight, right, this particular buffet, Copper Beyond Buffet, that we ate at the
Gason
Amarin. The organization, my God, the organization of how they organize the buffet the way the service staff attends to you, it feels like a top-notch restaurant, right? But it's in a buffet setting. So
Yeah.
that's the amazing thing, that the entire the thought process behind organizing the buffet makes it feel like, wow, you know, I have unlimited food, but it's not like in a cruise, right, where you just go and help yourself,
Yeah.
you know, and all the every single plate that's served to you is of a quality. So I would say this was one of my best experience, maybe my best experience actually, in a buffet, right? Even at a high-end level, because of the way they organize everything. It's just
So if
amazing.
you do go to Bangkok, you must try this. Book in advance. Go to Hungry Hub because you get a discount as well, and you're guaranteed. Because Hungry Hub is, I think, their main partner, so they open up more slots for you over there. Okay.
Okay, and one more last comparison for you, and this is something that we love, which is comparing the food delivery, all right?
Oh,
Food
yeah.
delivery between Bangkok, between Penang and Singapore. So in Bangkok, let's say you order a very a standard dish, which is a pork basil rice with fried egg, for example. No drinks, okay? Just the pork basil rice with fried egg. You're looking at 100 baht, which is around $3 US. Okay,
Right.
imagine that,
Now
$3 US.
this 100 baht, if you join Grab Unlimited or you're on the Grab app, right, it already comes discounted. So when I did this on my Grab app, this 100 baht is already a discounted price. If it's not a discounted price, it could be maybe 130, okay?
But of course, Grab is just one of the many platforms. There's Lineman, there's also Foodpanda, I believe. That of course you can toggle and choose and get which has the best discount for you. And of course, the variety of options is just amazing, right? So in Bangkok, you're talking about $3 US for delivered food, right, including delivery. In Penang, it's also very affordable. You're looking at around 15 ringgit, right? What do we get for 15 ringgit? Okay.
Oh yeah, our Sao Hao Fan.
Yeah, Sao Hao Fan. So okay, Sao Hao Fan is basically a wet noodle dish, right? Quite basic, all right? It's around 15 ringgit, which is $3.60 US, 3.6 US, right? Slightly more expensive than Bangkok. I would say quite on par as well.
Yeah, but it comes with free delivery because I'm a Grab Unlimited member, so that is already the discounted price. Okay.
Yeah, and in Singapore, get this. In Singapore, for a very basic, what was the dish we said? Let's say a Singapore Hokkien Mee, a fried
Oh
Hokkien
yeah,
Mee.
that's right.
13 Sing dollars including delivery,
Yeah,
okay? Which
so-
is at $10 US, $10 US for Singapore delivery.
So honestly, right, I'm quite appalled nowadays with the price of getting food delivered in Singapore, right? Because we also spend a lot of time in Singapore, and sometimes we do order in Grab. It's quite insane. Sometimes a dish can be 8 Sing dollars, but by the time you stack up the delivery and then you have to pay a small fee because your order is not above $15 or whatever, it becomes like 20 bucks, okay, for an $8 dish. I'm like, that's crazy, right? And the one thing I don't like about Singapore is that, or rather, when talking about food delivery, yeah, is that you don't get to choose. It's not island-wide delivery. If you want to do island-wide delivery, you have to pay even more money, right? So I remember this cousin of mine, right, the one I said stayed in Bangkok for more than 10 years, when she's now living in Singapore. When she first moved to Singapore, she was very upset because she said, hey, how come I can't order food? Let's say she lived in the West, she want to order food from the East. How come she can't do that, right? It wasn't available to her back then. This was before COVID. Right? And because why? She was so used to Bangkok because she said she can order cheesecake from a suburb 1 hour away from where she was in the city center of Bangkok, and she can do it. And the delivery cost, is just a fraction, very very minimal, right? But when she went to Singapore, it wasn't even an option. Even if she want to pay at back then 2019, it wasn't an option as well. So this is the main reason, right? Even though Singapore, then you ask, hey, but Bangkok is so big, right? An hour away is a long while, right? But why Singapore so small? You can't do that. Well, manpower cost, right? Again, it's manpower cost. And also, not everybody delivers food to you on a motorbike, right? In Singapore, a lot of them use the scooters. So you can't scoot from west all the way to the east, right, and deliver food in Singapore. But whereas in Bangkok, everybody uses a motorbike, right, for the Grab food. So it's actually doable. Yeah, it's doable.
So if you really talk about the packing cost, right, it's really expensive for deliveries in Singapore. Just the mode of transport, right, costs so much, right? Even for bikes, you have to pump petrol, right? So petrol in Singapore is
So
is a lot higher than Thailand. Of course, definitely a lot higher than Malaysia. Malaysia's petrol is the cheapest because it's an oil-producing country. So you would expect, delivery costs to be high. But interestingly, a lot of Singaporeans still do deliveries, right? But of course, they are smart about it. They try to do 2 meals together so that the delivery cost is sunken, right, between 2 meals. But even then, it's really expensive. And the varieties alone that you can find in Bangkok, right, is just mind-blowing. Okay? Mind-blowing. You can actually see on the street how many delivery bike people are either waiting at the side of the street hawker store, or they are actually busy going around. So that really shows off the demand, right? So we are just talking about food, right, in today's YouTube live. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for all the well wishes for our anniversary, guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Thank you, CK.
Right.
Thank you, Tony. Right, and we love Bangkok, and who knows? Maybe one day we'll come on and say, guys, we are officially living in Bangkok for a year, right?
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
Yeah, so there is actually an upcoming video that we are doing. It's a retirement video. We will talk a bit more about visa as well. And really Thailand itself, right, very aggressive, right, on the visa requirements, trying to get more foreigners, retirees, people to come here and work. They also have a digital nomad license visa that they just launched. It's very exciting. Those of you who think you know Bangkok, well, even for us, within 9 months, it has changed so much. So I strongly urge you to come and check it out for yourself,
Yeah.
all the various new attractions.
Yeah, and CK, Ho Chi Minh, right? We spent actually 1 month in Vietnam last year. Honestly, Ho Chi Minh was our least favorite city, and we both were in Ho Chi Minh before previously, right? I mean, separately. That was before we met. So we've been in Ho Chi Minh, and we are quite familiar with Ho Chi Minh actually, and it was actually our least favorite city, mainly because the character of Ho Chi Minh is now lost, right? What do I mean by that? When I first went to Ho Chi Minh in 2014, 2015, it's very vibrant, right? There's a lot of street food all over the places, and it was it's got the Vietnam character. However, when we went last year, they clean up Ho Chi Minh City, right? So the big roundabout square, right, where all the street vendors are, they're all gone. They moved into the inner districts. So the character of Ho Chi Minh was gone. Of course, there's a lot more crime in Ho Chi Minh, we actually didn't enjoy ourselves very much. We actually ate pretty well, but yet the vibe, the character of Ho Chi Minh is lost. Whereas in Hanoi, in Da Nang, in Nha Trang, you can still taste, you can still feel and absorb the character of Vietnam. But in Ho Chi Minh, it has become so city-like, so business-like, right? That honestly is lost. And actually, I have a friend who's married to a Caucasian, and then he works in Ho Chi Minh. So she actually went to Ho Chi Minh to live, and she's telling me every day she wishes that she's back in Penang, right? So every chance she can get, she'll fly back to Penang, because she didn't like living there, right? So that was what I wanted to share about Ho Chi Minh. So it's unlikely we'll go back to Ho Chi Minh. We would like to go to Dalat in the future, because I went to Dalat with my best friend just before COVID hit. Actually, we were quite lucky we were not caught before the borders closed. We absolutely love Dalat, so I want to bring John to Dalat one day. So yeah, maybe our next Vietnam trip might be Dalat.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, PT, for the your well wishes. And yes, Thailand is second home to us. And guys, we're actually very lucky for those of us who stay in Southeast Asia, because there's so many different Southeast Asian countries, right? Talk about Vietnam, talk about Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore. It's such a blessing to be able to travel to all these different cities and countries so easily, right? Because of the availability of budget travel or your budget airlines, and even the hotels as well. So enjoy it, right? And hi, Paul. Yeah. Thanks, Paul. So we are going to call it a wrap. It's been about 34 minutes. Thank you so much for coming on and spend this little time with us to talk about Bangkok. We really appreciate it. And do look out for our upcoming video on Bangkok. It's an updated one. Yeah.
Before that though, by the way, if you guys like us to do more lives, let us know, okay? Comment lives. Even after this live session is over, please help us to give us feedback by commenting live on our this video, so that we also get feedback, right, on what you guys, our audience and our viewers, would like to know from us as well. And by the way, most recently I did an interview with a very good friend of mine. She's a young entrepreneur, a young mother of 3 kids, right? And I think her video was very powerful because she shared on her struggles for 8 years with her husband to get children, right? It was they were trying and they went all sorts of ways to get kids. So please give that video a watch, right? And especially you guys are parents, because during her 8 years of struggle, she really kind of understood, right, what it meant, like, right, and all the heartache that she went through. That she actually has she's doing some parenting workshops, right? Because now she's a mother of 3 kids, right? From 0 to 3 kids. So please give that video a like, right? It's one of our most recent videos. So please watch it and let us know, give us feedback as well, right? And yeah, let us know whether you like more live sessions from us, wherever we are in the world. And we'll see you guys again really soon, okay? And oh, China, nice. Oh, Joshua, you slipped that right in just before we were about to go.
Yeah, so we did go to Guangzhou. Of course, it's a tier 1 city. I'm not so sure about 3rd tier city for China for now, because I mean, honestly, we are not so familiar with China yet. So if we go, which, stay tuned, it will likely be the 1st tier cities first. Of course, over time, we will explore them. I mean, we are also retired, so we are also doing, kind of doing our travels at a certain pace,
and going to the places that we want to go.
Yeah, so we are not doing things like Fast and Furious. Yeah, we're not that kind of travel channel. So we want to talk about cost, we want to talk about authentic experiences, so you guys can really get deeper. You get deeper into knowing about the country, especially those who are exploring to whether it's to live as a retiree or to work, and that's what the kind of value that we actually want to bring to you guys.
And but for those of y'all who don't know, I have like a very, very low level of Mandarin understanding and speaking, right? Like I like to tell people it's -1, right? So China, it will be quite challenging for me to live in China long term or retiring there. So and the reason why we went to 1st tier cities is because they understand English a little bit, right? And I've got John to translate for me, but I can't bring him with me everywhere I go, right? So and he can't translate every single word. So it will be a little bit challenging for me to go to especially 3rd tier cities, because then their grasp of the English language, it will be even lower. And trust me guys, I tried to learn Mandarin before. I don't know, somehow my brain just can't.
Yeah, because in Penang, she speaks Hokkien, right, which is a Chinese dialect, right? So that is part of the ancestry that she came from in Penang, Malaysia.
Yeah, so I speak English, I speak Bahasa Malaysia, and as well as Hokkien. And I do have an affinity for like the Italian language and the Spanish language. So that's something that I'm more keen to learn in the future.
Yep. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for staying with us. We're going to wrap up now, and appreciate it if you give a like as well for this video, and let us know in the comments, okay, if you like us to do more YouTube live where we share more in-depth about our experiences in whichever city or country that we are in.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
All right, thank you.
And we'll see you in our next video, okay?
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.